Coder, back again with the third and final part of my live dev interview with Bankroll Studios, the developers of Mad Maps. You've splatted your terrains, you've carved your roads and placed roads on your terrains, and now we're playing about with stamping from one scene to another and another amazing features that you get with Mad Maps. So sit back, enjoy, and I'll see you all in a second. One of the problems I've run into is that if you're copying stamps from lots of different terrains and including splats, you can end up with a lot of additional texture on the main terrain. Is it possible to remap incoming textures from the stamp to textures available on the destination terrain?
I mean, like, optimally, you kind of want to do this from the start, and this is why you want to set things up with these splat prototype wrappers and don't, like, not specify your splat prototypes on the terrain, because then you end up with a situation where you have like a million different splats, and you know, half of them are all like really similar to each other, and it's like a lot of redundancy. So if you start off working with splat prototypes and you make sure that you're never ever like never click that tab. Never, if you have the terrain selected and there's that little tab where you specify splats and details, like there's no reason if you're using Mad Maps to ever click that tab. And so if you start off, it's easy to reconcile. If you're already kind of down the well and you didn't do that at the start, then yeah, you can change it. The easiest way to change it would be so if you select a stamp, you can actually change what wrappers it has. Like if you have where the stamp has been captured from, you'll be able, if you have like the scene, you'll be able to
which scene was that one?
So for instance, if we go to like the demo folder, we go to like the demo scene. And so if we check out this stamp source terrain, this is the terrain I was talking about earlier. This is like where I built the farmhouse. So we can see like we captured to the right. That's a little farmhouse. That's what we captured from. That's where we got it from. So if we select this terrain and just inspect it real quick, we can see that if we just, with the terrain wrapper, select the splats, there's the tab, the terrain splats wrapper. So if you go to the inspector, under the terrain wrapper component, there's the splats tab.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Used to have that one locked down. Let me close that tab. There we go.
So here we can see like what splats we have set up. And we can like hot swap any of these wrappers out. So if we want to like change the second one to be some other texture, we can do that. We can just change that object reference to what haven't we already got in there. It won't work if we have if we try to double up. Got 1, 3, 14, 5, 4. Is there a 6 there? I don't think we got a 6. We can change that to 6. We'll be able to see the difference. Yeah, and so that's gone and changed what that splat was. So you can change the captured splats like that, and then you can also soon we'll have a utility for editing the information within layers and within world stamps. So you'll be able to actually go in and just kind of, even if you don't have the original scene you've captured from, you'll be able to go in and edit the information you've captured from stamps. So changing which splat it is, things like that.
Cool. Barak, how long have you been using Mad Maps for, bud? It's always nice to find people in chat who actually already own the assets that we're talking to the devs about. get their experience of actually using it. He bought it when it came out, smiley face. Nice.
Oh, gee.
This is your chance to spam with questions, mate.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
The very first video you saw sold it to you. Well, you did a good job on that video, Sean.
Ah, cheers. Really hard to make videos. I'm really terrible at it.
Yeah, tell me about it. I hate it. It is amazing. It is. I mean, Cascade doesn't do the same. It does things differently. So I can see how it's similar to other assets and other tools, but it is different as well. I mean,
it's meant to, like, it's not a do everything tool. It's much more meant to be like the glue between different tools. It's meant to fit into a pipeline and take all these tools that you use and like just make them work nicely together.
So would this be able to work with like the Cascade River and Lake system? I don't know if you've seen Cascade from Antonio. It's like, you know, you can make rivers and roads and you can carve.
Yeah, it's a very cool plugin. Yeah, so the thing is, I think I mentioned this the other day in our last chat, is that this concept of like integration flow and like what like Mad Maps is in terms of its design much more of a receiver, in that it deals like all these tools like Cascade are generating data and putting that data somewhere, and Mad Maps is this thing that's like, give me the data, I'll manage the data and do cool stuff with it. So a lot of the time it's other tools that really need to integrate Mad Maps. Unfortunately, that is just kind of an inescapable consequence of what those tools are doing. One's generating the data and one's managing the data. And so I can't force other tools. I can force Magic a little bit to put its data into the terrain wrapper, but I can't necessarily force like other tools to write the information that they're generating into the terrain wrapper. So if you want Mad Maps awesome support, bother the devs. Tell the Cascade devs, hey, if you like, you know, if you can detect that Mad Maps is in the project, write to the terrain wrapper, don't write to the terrain, and then yeah, it'll all just work.
Well, the good news is that Antonio's going to be on the stream next weekend, so I'll tell you guys what else is going to be on in a little bit. But yeah, Antonio's been really busy lately, so I haven't really spoken to him much. But he's one of the people that'll be on, so I'll be poking at him and going, have you seen this? Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, I'll be sure to give it a watch. Bothering myself.
I'll be passing on your Discord details to him as well. You know, is it in the you've joined our Discord group, so if you look on the right hand side on the Discord in the channel, you'll see the ever-growing number of asset store developers that we've got in the mess. Can somebody shove a ! Discord in chat? You would be wonderful if you could do that for me, please. So you would see that the ! Discord in chat to get yourself into our Discord channel if you haven't already gone. There you go. We've got quite a large number. I think like 35 asset developers now. And not the little ones, not little ones like me, but proper ones like Sean and Adam and Antonio.
Yeah, you got the big dogs.
The big dogs.
Let's have one more.
Oh, Hodger, thank you for the follow. And for those...
And yeah, Mad Maps also has like a Discord that is a good place for asking questions.
Ah, cool. Send me the PM on on Discord and I'll paste it into chat, because if you do it, mate, you will be banned from the robot for 1 second, and it'll purge all of your history. So spam me that as in the old Discord PMs. People in chat who aren't already aware, thank you very much, young man. We do have our anniversary stream next week. Our anniversary stream is starting 8 o'clock GMT. There you go. It's mad maps. Get yourself some of that sexiness in your life. We've got our anniversary stream next Saturday, starting from about 8 o'clock UK time. It's going to go on until probably 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. So when I say 12 hours, it's not really 12 hours. It's going to be probably 13, 14 hours, because you know me, once I start waffling, I can't really stop. This is supposed to be like a 1 or 2 hour chat with Sean. It's now midnight and we're still going, nattering away. What's Fresh Meat telling off Sanyo for? Make sure to make a command for his Discord, please. Yes, make a command for the Discord for Mad Maps. What are we doing in next week's anniversary stream, other than me just waffling for 12, 13 hours? I'm interviewing 10 different asset store developers and giving away 10 grand's worth of games and assets. Wow, that's just crazy. I know. Isn't that crazy, Sean?
Yeah, it sounds like a really good stream. Sad I'll have to miss it. I'm going to be out of cell phone reception.
Well, you could use a didgeridoo.
Yeah, maybe you'll be able to hear me on the other side of the planet. I'll give it a go.
I'm also a numpty because I managed to do it at the same time that Fresh Meat's going to be protecting his borders, and also the same time there's some global game jam going on, so there'll probably be no one in chat, so it'll be you guys who are here now winning all of the assets, so don't worry about it. To help promote it though, if you can, spam as much as you can, everyone. Spread the word, shout it from the rooftops, dingle dangle the bells. Don't worry, you'll win something, but the more the merrier. You know it's going to be. I'm on a phone, so it's hard to type. Well, that's the new excuse from Fresh Meat. It's always a reason why it's hard for him to type. At least now it's a good one. Where was we? I mean, mate, I know it's late for you, but what else have I missed that we haven't shown off?
I think this is pretty much everything you can cover without getting into like really esoteric, like strange use cases. So we can kind of have a look at more of the little gizmos we've got for the terrain. For instance, like we can do kind of so say for instance, let's make a new game object. And we can just kind of have a look at a little gizmo.
What do you want? Empty
that is useful.
Box?
Just like an empty game object.
Oh, I've shoved it in there.
Cool. And so what we want to look at is the terrain plane component, and the terrain plane is just like another little gizmo that does stuff to the terrain. So if we add the terrain plane component to this game object, we can have a look at what it does.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so this is like a simpler version of a stamp basically, and it kind of just does a much more procedural modification of the terrain, but in the same way that a stamp does, and that it writes to a layer, and you can move it around. So for instance, if we just and you can like rotate it, and it's just going to like make a flat surface that fits to this plane that we define. So for instance, if we just hit recalculate layer, new layer, what it's going to do is this little square we can see in the scene view, it's going to take that, it's going to flatten it out. It's going to get rid of all the objects on it. It's going to get rid of all the trees on it. It's going to get rid of the grass on it, and all that kind of stuff. So you've also got just these little, and so for instance, like the intersections, the intersection prefabs use these to flatten out the terrain underneath them.
Oh, okay, cool. And that's why we've got that
It's just like
mask.
a simple components. Yeah, yeah. So there's just little gizmos like that around bad maps that you can use to modify your terrain. So you can move that around now, and it'll act exactly like a stamp, where it'll follow where you move it, and the data underneath that you just destroyed, like that data isn't gone. Those trees, that grass, it'll all come back when you recalculate.
Hey, like magic.
Yeah, so that can be really useful just for like, flattening out areas in a non-destructive way, in like a kind of a much more procedural way than capturing just exact stamps. You can also do like very specific things with this, if you don't want to do anything, just like if you only want to remove a certain type of tree, for instance, you can do that with this class. You can just make like a tree eraser, which there's an example of already in the scene, this tree eraser, which just the only thing it does is remove like one type of tree. So there's a couple of different gizmos like that around the project.
Could you use like an image and have it as in a stamping shape and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you change right now the fall off mode is set to rectangular, but if you change it to texture, you can then point to a fall off texture. So we had one before that was called intersection mask, which is a nice little blurry black and white mask, and that will change how it blends in with the terrain below.
That is nice. Let's make it big. There you go. Go a bit crazy. How tall can I stick it up high?
Sorry?
Just seeing what happens now when I've raised it up a bit. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so it's still it is overriding the road here. Yeah.
Cool.
And like, this is coming from a programmer, but I personally think bad maps is a very easy structure to extend if you want to like write like little gizmos like this that do stuff to the terrain, and have a structure where you can modify terrain information without worrying about losing stuff that you've already got there. Like it's really easy. I wrote this terrain plane script in like 4 hours a while ago, just because I needed it for something. But it's super easy to do this stuff, and you're dealing with the terrain data in a way that's really familiar. Like it's the exact same pattern that you follow dealing with just like vanilla Unity terrains, but it's way better because you don't have to worry about things screwing up.
Have you got
and losing information.
Have you got like a community portal or forum where people can submit their own?
So I would say if you want to make like a contribution, post it on the Discord or the forum, and if you want it to be like included in the bad maps package, just like let me know and say that you give permission, because I'd really love to extend the amount of tools and stuff in this, and I'm sure people can come up with super cool little gadgets that do cool terrain stuff that I haven't thought of yet.
I'm just going to be doing this for hours now. This is the problem. Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
That's going to be a pretty cool jump. Just go over that on like a motorbike or something.
So I'd like to see on this, to be able to say, okay, the height now, the angle of this, put different textures, you know, like with CTS or Microsplat.
Yeah. So CTS and Microsplat, they're both like, as long as they reference the splat map data, then it's absolutely no problem with compatibility with man maps. Like CTS does a lot of like it implements that kind of parallax mapping. So when you do stretch the texture way up, it looks a lot better. Like when you have like a really big vertical rise, you don't get that really stretched texture look that you get with the traditional Unity shader. And that'll all work totally fine.
So how do I set on the, if I go and just choose one of these and let me just lock that so I don't lose it. Go here. Is there a way to say that this wrapper is going to affect certain height only, up to a certain height or to a certain angle, and then the other wrapper would, rather than doing it by weight?
No, so that's you wouldn't specify that in the terrain wrapper. That would be functionality that you'd write into a gizmo.
Okay.
So you could make like a version of the terrain plane that takes the height and sets the texture from the height. Like that would be pretty trivial to make like a little gizmo that just takes the height and does that modification. The terrain plane isn't that isn't the function of the terrain plane. Like that isn't what it does. But yeah, like that would be a super easy little tool to write if you wanted to. But again, like the data generation is not what Mad Maps is about. Like that's data generation, whereas it's much more about data management fundamentally. I do have one more cool thing we can show.
Cool.
So procedural layers. So if we go to the terrain plane, if we go to the terrain wrapper.
Okay. Where did I put you? Go back to, where was he? Unlock you.
Yeah, there we go. So what we can do is at the bottom of this list, there's this little plus icon. And we can add a new procedural layer. So procedural layers are a little bit different. We just made it up at the top there, layer 6. So procedural layers don't have data in them in the same way that normal layers do. Instead, they run like functions. So an example would be, say you've got stamps and you're just like smashing a bunch of different forests down. You're placing down like a shit ton of trees, and you want it to be like a dense forest, but you don't want like trees literally clipping into each other and overlapping each other. So you like you want to, when you combine all these layers, as the last step, when this new layer 1 procedural layer executes, we can say add a procedural layer component just by pressing that button, and we can do we can add so like trees. If you look at trees, and we can add something like a proximity filter, and what that is going to do is it's going to set like a maximum distance that any tree can be away from any other tree. So if you set it to 10, then there will be no, if you set it to 5 yet, there'll be no trees on your terrain less than 10 meters away from each other, which is good for like controlling density and stuff. And then there's other filters you can use, like you can apply a gradient filter. What that will do is remove any trees or any objects or whatever that are sitting on like above a certain gradient. So it's just a good way to kind of apply these little rules to your terrain to remove information that is going to be silly looking. Like, you probably don't want to have trees on your cliffs, so you can just say, okay, don't put trees on the cliffs, please.
So the is that to add, or what's the?
No, so these are filters. So you with the 6 layers below this procedural layer, you're like building up this list of all the trees that are going to be on your final terrain, and you're taking some layers take some trees away from that list, some layers put trees into that list. Then you get to this final layer, this layer at the very top, and it looks at this big list and it checks every tree and it checks them against these rules you're creating here, just to make sure that every tree you're placing is like following the rules that you want to, or every object you're placing is following the rules that you want it to.
And it's time, just when you think you've discovered all of the fanciness, something else just comes over and knocks you down. I mean, I'm gonna have to sit here and now play about with this for another couple of hours. I thought I was going to be going to bed after this, but I'm not. I'm going to be sitting there playing about with all these procedural layers.
Yeah. They're definitely useful.
All right, should we do a raffle? What do you reckon, Sean?
Yeah, let's do it. Sounds good.
I need a. I was playing about with the raffle settings the other day. Oh, the last thing we raffled was Hurt World.
Coinky dink.
So when's the new version out? The big update of Hurt World?
So it came out on the 12th.
Ah, it's
so yeah, it's been out for a while. It's got a lot of cool new stuff in it. You can get like helicopters and motorbikes, and it's got like a clan system now, and it's a really completely new game compared to what the version 1 was.
Alrighty. So I'm gonna click open. I think everyone's remembered how you can use this wonderful thing called ! Raffle. So stick your ! Raffles in chat. Wow, Gilda was in there like a shot. Sanyo's keyboard is corrupted because he's typing in I don't know what language that was, Sanyo. Probably Bosnian keyboard. And Sanyo, your raffle didn't get acknowledged, San. There you go, San. Fresh meat is here. I was gonna do an ! Fresh meat, fresh meat, raffle for fresh meat, because you never know if he can type it in or not, seeing as he's on his mobile phone. Don't forget, you do need to be a follower. So that is the one thing. You have to click that follow button, otherwise your ! Raffle won't count. So if you're not already a follower, click on that follow button and then do your ! Raffle again. Otherwise you'll be wondering why you didn't win. So how long would it actually take someone, do you reckon, to become comfortable with all of the features of Mad Maps, to do something like you guys did with Hurt World? Are we talking about like weeks to get to that level of proficiency, months to get to that level of proficiency?
I mean, if we're talking specifically about like the Hurt World use case, which is like literally the most complicated use case I could possibly imagine.
Yeah,
just
like
different things happening. Yeah. I mean, that it took us 4 years to get there. It took us 5 years to get to that place, but I
Wow.
reckon you could beat that record for sure, because we've done a lot of the work here. We've done a lot of the development here. We kind of figured out what patterns, what pipelines work for making really, really big, complicated modular maps in a way that like works in a team and stuff. So we've done all that already. So you know, I would say it would only take like a couple of hours to get your head around really the big main concepts. The big main concepts of Mad Maps is enough to do kind of 99% of all use cases. And then when you start getting into the more complicated use cases, once you start getting into like really very complicated stuff, there's a lot of depth. That's probably going to take like a month or two of kind of playing around if you want to do like super complicated stuff. But I'd say like most people who have good familiarity with Unity would be able to pick this up and get the main features down within like a couple of hours.
Cool. That's nuts. Well, I'm down for that. Yeah, I'll be raffling for you, Freshy. Don't worry about it. I'll be sticking an exclamation mark fresh meat in chat for your raffles. Fortunately, Fresh Meat won't be able to make the anniversary stream next week. so yeah, my bad timing. But you'll be able to watch the VODs though. You'll be able to watch the VODs back, and you won't have to stay up for 14 hours to watch it. You can watch it back at your leisure, mate. So there you go. Everyone's a winner. Well, apart from Fresh Meat. Never mind. How are we getting on with the giveaway? We've got 1 minute left on the giveaway, so put your exclamation mark raffles into the chat. So how many people was working on Mad Maps? Was it just you by yourself?
Yeah, it's my baby. It's my baby. I was like the kind of the main level tools developer for Hurt World. God knows there was enough developing to go around. So like the tools pipeline was mostly my domain.
That is, I mean, I'm gonna say, like, you guys, yeah, Australia does seem to have, as you're saying, a surprisingly high number of amazing terrain developers, but there's a lot of people making fantastic Unity tools by themselves in their bedrooms, in their offices. You got like Jason Booth, you've got Antonio, you've got Bart, Adam, Dennis. Well, I would say now that Adam's like a team, but originally was just him. There's a load of people that are doing amazing work, and it's just one person by themselves. It's nuts. It's crazy. Did you get any sleep?
Yeah, never. You know, I didn't. I've slept more this past year. This past year, I've basically been working just on Mad Maps in kind of more of a remote capacity while I've been traveling. So it's been like a lot more chill. But yeah, definitely. You know, who needs sleep?
Who needs sleep, you losers? All right, shall we pick a winner? Let's pick a winner. All right. Drum roll. Hang on. Wait a minute. 1 minute. We had that saved from before. Drum roll.
Good luck, all.
And the winner's Yolan. Yolan's the winner. Oh my word. Is that like the first time Yolan's actually ever won anything? Oh my word. Congratulations. I think that's the first time you've won anything, buddy.
Enjoy.
Wow. Yolan's been in about 1,000 raffles, and I think this is the first time he's won. Maybe won one other thing, that like the last year's 12-hour stream where it's pretty much impossible for somebody not to win because we're giving away so many stuff. So many stuff? Yeah, so many stuff. Not as much stuff as we're giving away next week. Yeah, I won last 20... It wasn't a 24-hour stream. I would have died if it was. But yeah, it felt like a 24-hour stream. The number of assets we'll be giving away next Saturday is insane. So if you are thinking of something to do next Saturday on the 26th of January, you need to be popping over to this stream where you are now, Order W's. Don't forget, click on that big follow button on the top wherever it is, and there's a little notification button that you can click, and it will remind you and it would let you know when we're live so that you can pop in and type !raffle and listen to people. Listen to amazing people like Sean here from Caltrix. What is the reason behind the name, by the way?
Caltrix has been my online moniker since I was about 8 years old. I think it originally came from some kind of joke about a parody of the movie The Matrix, that instead of people you had cows. I don't know. It's got a very vague and old origin story, I guess.
Oh my god, I'm so bloody old. The fact that the internet was around when you were 8 and The Matrix was out.
What year was The Matrix? It was like 2000. Yeah, it was like 2000, right?
Oh my god.
That's like 19 years ago. Yeah, we're already in the future.
I remember, look, that to me feels like just yesterday because I was sitting in an office.
Yeah, man. Next year is 2020. I don't personally like thinking about that. Time has flown.
Oh, we'll be dead soon.
Yeah, whatever.
So, with that in mind, you will better start making your games and your projects. Picking up a copy of Mad Maps will definitely increase your workflow and get you making your games quicker. If the guys from Mad Maps had Mad Maps sooner, well, the guys from Hurt World had Mad Maps like it is now right at the start, they probably wouldn't have taken 4 or 5 years to get their amazing, super fantastic Hurt World environments and worlds up. So you can, like Sean's saying, get yourself using Mad Maps within a couple of hours. You could be a guru. Within a day, you could be, well, phenomenal. Within a month, you could be recreating the universe. So,
yes, save yourself the immense amount of pain we experienced and learn from our mistakes and struggles.
I mean, how much is it? Like $40, $45 on the asset store?
So it's $40 if you have the pro subscriber discount. Full price is $50.
$50 for a year's worth of your life that you'll save. Right, well, mate, it is 12:30 my time. We've been chatting for, what is that? I can't even do the maths. 4 hours? More than that, is it?
Yeah, a while. I gotta go to the dentist. Christ.
God.
That's what I gotta do now. Yeah.
Well, I hope that
Sorry,
this was a bit more fun than sitting in the dentist chair.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. I've been looking for excuses to be late the whole day. This is a good one. Brush your teeth, kids. Remember to floss.
Remember, floss and use Mad Maps. If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now, and down below there's that big juicy subscribe button, and right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.